the U.S. Supreme Court lifted the nationwide injunction that prevented immigration from enforcing the new Donald Trump public charge provisions. So now, as of February 24th, 2020, the new public charge provisions go into effect for anybody who files an adjustment application on February 24th, 2020 and beyond. If you feel you are going to have a public charge problem, you better get your adjustment application in before February 24th. You will fall under the old rules. You got about 2.5 weeks. For those who already have their adjustments filed or have pending adjustment cases, you're okay. It only takes effect for people who file their adjustments after February 24th. So what is these new rules? Well, the old rules is you just have to show you're 125% above the poverty level. Now, you not only have to show that's step one, because there's a step two. Step one is show you're 125% above the poverty level. Step two is show that you're not going to become a government charge. How is that going to happen? Well, if your petitioner is taking government assistance, if your petitioner is in public housing, it's going to be big negatives against you. If your petitioner earns less than $62,000 for a family of 4, it's a big negative against you. Positives for you would be you have health insurance, you have a job, you are of working age, you have an education. It's going to skew to people with education. It's going to skew against people who don't speak English and don't have an education. It's going to be a big problem for a lot of people. So the only thing I can suggest to people is 2 things. Get your application in before February 24th and get yourself a good lawyer. Trump is now also has travel restrictions to a lot of, and we have a lot of our friends in the Brad Squad are part of this, unfortunately.
2 of my countries.
2 of your countries. And
my mom and my dad's country is
Nigeria. Which we have a lot of people watching from Nigeria, Eritrea. A lot of people from there too. Myanmar, we don't have as many Myanmar, but maybe we do. Kyrgyzstan. And that includes also the old countries, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, North Korea, and Venezuela. Also 2 other new countries I neglected, Sudan and Tanzania. So what are these new travel restrictions? Basically what they're saying is people from these countries can't get green cards. You're married to a U.S. citizen from Nigeria, that Nigerian husband or that Nigerian wife, even if you're a U.S. citizen, cannot get a green card. Can't. And what Trump is saying the reason is because there's a lot of fraud that comes from these countries, and a lot of people from these countries overstay their visas. And the reason why they put the ban for green cards instead of, this is Trump's reasoning, instead of non-immigrant visas, because people from these countries can still get visitors visas, student visas, work visas, investor visas, what they can't, religious worker visas. What they can't do is get green cards. And Trump's rationale is that it's a lot easier to deport somebody who is on a non-immigrant visa who overstays their time than somebody who has a green card. Okay, but there is no overstay on a green card, so I'm not exactly sure why he wants to deport people who have green cards who are not really breaking the law. So his logic actually doesn't flow.
I mean, when does it?
So we go back to, that's a good excuse. The real reason is what he really thinks of these countries. Shitholes.
They're shitholes.
And he doesn't want people from shitholes. Sick. Other people focused on the border crisis statement J-Lo and Shakira,
which was beautiful,
made during their performance right before Emma Maribel Muniz, who's Jennifer's, by the way, I didn't realize that's her daughter. No, I didn't realize. I only found out after.
She sounded amazing.
She started singing during the Super Bowl 54 halftime show. She crawled out of a cage. Now, she wasn't the only one. Dark patches of the field were illuminated by several neon structures identical to Emmy's, with children caged inside. One by one, their cages lit up until it was time for Emmy to open her door and sing through the empowering verses of her mom's 2000 single, Let's Get Loud. Let's get loud. One by one.
Okay, vocals.
Thank you. One by one, I just started thinking, like, So the kids eventually joined Emmy on stage and surrounded her as a backing choir, all in white sweatshirts with rhinestone American flags emblazoned across the front. The statement had her and the rest of the younger performers singing from behind bars It did not go unnoticed,
Good.
not only by us at Brad Show Live, but on Twitter as well. Ramos Nuero said when this scene came out, they were singing Let's Get Loud about kids in cages. Of course, that's a thing. Let's get loud. Hashtag Pepsi halftime. Luther Swift said, how is no one talking about this powerful yet subtle statement? And Biz Lawyer ATL Atlanta says, powerful commentary on the border crisis by J-Lo having kids in cages.
I loved it. Like, this is those are ways to use your platform for good, you know, to get the word out. You know, a lot of people were like, oh, why would you perform at the Super Bowl when, you know, Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job? But this is what you do. You know what I mean? If you're going to use that platform, then get loud.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.